lighting person, chances are you know lighting really well. But even some of the most experienced lighting people don't have the same knowledge and confidence when it comes to lighting controls technologies and how to apply them. The good news is there's an organization in our industry, the Lighting Controls Association, or LCA, that provides lighting stakeholders with information, resources, and education on the topic of lighting controls. So we're pleased today to be joined by two of the leaders of the LCA. First, the chair of LCA, Charles Knuffke. Charles, hello, and thank you for joining us today for 5 big questions.
Hello, Al. Thank you very much for having me today.
And we have the vice chair, Gary Meshberg. Gary, hello, and thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Al, good to be with you.
So happy to have you both here. Charles, let's start with you. I think most lighting people have heard of the Lighting Controls Association, but not all of us might know exactly what it is you folks do. So tell us, what is the Lighting Controls Association and why is it important?
So just to start off with, let me say, I'm a lighting controls geek. I've been lucky enough that I've been in the industry for 35 years. And all I've ever had to focus on was lighting controls, but not everybody's had that same opportunity. So we recognize the simplicity of lighting controls in the past, the simple occupancy sensors, the time clocks. They're now layers of control. So the manufacturers of NEMA, because actually LCA is a council of NEMA, realized that there needed to be a place that people could go to for factual information about controls, to keep them up to date on what the latest technologies are. LCA is that organization. We really try to be the voice of the manufacturers to everybody out there that might be looking for information about lighting controls. We are extremely well recognized for the fact that we put out good information. We go out to people, in fact, people like Cal CPP, NALMCO, other groups actually refer to LCA's Education Express for their members in order to be able to get basic information before they can go on and advance in that organization. So, you know, LCA really tries to be a voice for the industry. We actually have a very small footprint, but we're really very well recognized as a source of information for the general public.
For sure, valuable information, lots of valuable content. And Gary, when you consider the audience for LCA, who is the primary audience and what are some of the more popular topics that they seek to learn from the LCA?
Yeah, the primary audience is the building industry, specifically the industrial commercial building industry. So we do cover residential, but it's really not our primary focus. So if we were to look at our demographic and based on our thousands of newsletter subscribers, we'd find that the main audience would really be on the specification side, which are the electrical engineers and lighting designers. Then it would be electrical contractors, and then all others in the sales channel. So that would include building owners, electrical distributors, manufacturers, reps, and so on across the channel. So basically anyone who touches the lighting control system from concept to commissioning. Regarding the most popular topics, well, certainly fundamentals are always important and popular with us. What's hot, of course, changes over time. So right now, color tuning, network lighting control, wireless control, and building integration topics are pretty hot right now.
Lots of lighting control stakeholders there, Gary. How about Charles? Do you have anything to add to that?
Really, about the only thing I'd want to add is the fact that Education Express has been seen as valuable by all those different groups. In fact, I would just say that at this point, we've actually had about 40,000 people take the Education Express program. Big number, right?
40,000. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's tremendous. So that's impressive. So hopefully we'll continue to get that level of education spread throughout all these stakeholders that you serve. And one of those stakeholder groups that you mentioned earlier, Gary, are the reps or the lighting agents out there. And oftentimes lighting agents are trained by the lighting controls factories that they represent. Isn't that sufficient?
Well, the way we approach it is that the Lighting Controls Association Education Express program is really complementary to what a specific manufacturer may provide. So it really should be considered foundational, perhaps to a manufacturer's training. So for example, manufacturers training typically makes a rep an expert in a given product line. We want them to first be an expert in the category. By being a controls expert and being able to be up to date on what's new across the field in lighting controls, we feel that can typically offer more value to their customers. Some benchmarks in terms of the number of courses, and this again, how we supplement the manufacturers offerings. We have more than 30 courses covering over 50 hours of content. The courses run the gamut from control strategies, technology, application, design, commissioning, and energy codes. The courses are at no cost to the user. You can take them at your own time, at your own pace. And by passing a quiz at the end of the course will, in many cases, qualify the participant for an online credit or a continuing education credit. As Charles mentioned, since 2006, we have more than 40,000 students. The numbers even get bigger, completed more than 225,000 courses and have actually qualified for 150,000 tests for education credit. I want to add, though, that we partner with many organizations, and our philosophy is quite simple. We want to educate a particular partner's audience about lighting control. So with Education Express, this is a robust and really organized program. So who are some of these partners? This includes the NCQLP for perhaps your lighting certified qualifications, the American Institute of Architects, the California National Advanced Lighting Controls Training Program, the International Association of Lighting Management Companies, NALMCO, for their Certified Lighting Controls Professional course, the National Lighting Contractors Association of America. They use us as a prerequisite for live contractor training in California, as well as the state of California for their continuing education hours for electrical contractor workers and their licensing. So a pretty robust program.
Robust indeed. And Charles, Gary just shared some statistics going back to 2006 when that was a time when digital controls were replacing analog and almost everything was hardwired. Today, we're looking at wireless, IoT, and now controls related to human-centric lighting. How does the industry know, or the potential users know, that LCA is staying on top of all these technologies?
Well, so the LCA team is basically Gary, myself, Craig DeLuey, who is actually one of the key producers of content. But we also have an advisory group that we go out to. And so we're selecting and getting information from the industry of what are the topics that they're seeing that they believe should be promoted, and then trying to figure out, okay, well, what are the courses that we should be setting up to do that? It's pretty clear with the energy codes that those change on a fairly frequent basis that's called out. So, when the different IECC or ASHRAE or Title 24 codes come out, we have to update those courses. But as you mentioned, when you're dealing with things like IoT, when you're dealing with things with wireless, these are whole new technologies that the contractor who's doing the installation needs to be informed about how do you go to the tools, where do you look for reference information. Security is a big topic that's been coming up lately for folks about, we've been hearing about the ransomware attacks at certain facilities. So what are the things that you need to do in regards to security, and how do you choose that? So all these topics are coming into us, and we're trying to make the best decisions as to which ones we can focus on for the next term and be able to start providing information to our members or those who are interested.
Yeah, it feels like as these wireless and IoT technologies expand, that there's going to be even more demand for this type of information. So it's great that you folks are focused on all of that. And Gary, when you consider some of your member manufacturers who help fund and fuel all the great things that the LCA is doing, how does the organization and your member companies, how do you folks evaluate whether or not you're being successful in getting your mission accomplished?
Okay, good question. The Lighting Controls Association measures everything we can. Since our primary activities are online, we have a lot of statistical data coming in. Our manufacturers receive a monthly report showing all the numbers. This includes site visitors, the number of pages viewed, the number of students at Education Express for a given month, the number of members in our LinkedIn group, the click-throughs from the Lighting Controls Association to a specific member site, social media numbers, and so on. Also, just to measure our success, every couple of years, actually every 2 years, we do a regular site user survey. We ask our users about their satisfaction with our services. What can we do better? What do you find important, less important? So we can really have a strategic direction on what we're providing back to the industry. So here's an interesting proof point from a recent month. During the month, the site received over 14,000 visitors, who viewed 40,000 pages and then had click-throughs to member sites. We enrolled 120 new students in Education Express. They completed 1,800 learning modules with earning credit of 950 of these modules, as well as over 6,800 members ongoing in our LinkedIn group. So a tremendous amount. That's just, by the way, in 1 month. In addition to that, another way to measure success is we have the Buzz, and this is the Lighting Controls Association social network feed. We aggregate social media feeds from Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And this is from the Lighting Controls Association members. So we can aggregate that all in one place, which makes it super convenient to find out really what's going on in the lighting controls industry today.
Lots of great metrics, and really, you mentioned some of those statistics. It shows you already have a tremendous immersion in this space. So congrats on putting together all these programs, Gary. I've enjoyed seeing you speak at various conferences on behalf of the Lighting Controls Association, and keep doing the great work there. So Gary, thank you for joining us today for 5 Big Questions.
Thank you, Al. Good to be here.
And Charles, thank you for everything you're doing to lead the charge with the group, and appreciate all your efforts as well. So thank you for joining us today, Charles.
Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. Thank you, Al.
Hey there, we really enjoyed that discussion. We hope that you did as well. Be sure to click that big LED logo next to me, and what that'll do is subscribe you to our YouTube channel so you don't miss the next 5 Big Questions interview. And YouTube subscribers always receive an early preview to the next interview before we even post it on the Inside Lighting website. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.